Hey everybody, my name is Tahajnah Spence. I am the Community Affairs Coordinator with the Mayor's Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and we're here today to talk about a special subject on Black maternal health to kick off Black Maternal Health Week. Tajik, would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Captain Tajik Anwar Baul. I am an EMS supervisor with the Atlanta Fire Rescue stationed at The Rock, Station 7 in the West End.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
We want to talk about the important subject of Black maternal health. Could you share your birthing experience as a mother?
Well, my first birthing experience was really tough. I was told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and I felt like I had no control over my body or my situation. So, with my second birth, I chose a midwife and did it naturally because I was always told that you had to have an epidural. Your body could not take the pain of childbirth. So, when I had my second child, I did it naturally. And then when I had my third child, I almost gave birth to her in the car, trying
Mm,
to get to the hospital. So I actually caught my own baby. And then my fourth child, same deal, not almost in the car, but I was able to catch my own baby with my own hands.
awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that personal
Thank
story.
you.
My mother, she had us all at home. Well, I say all, there's four of us. All three of us were home births, and then my
Mm-hmm.
youngest brother was born in the hospital. But you don't really hear too many times of people in our communities
Mm-hmm.
giving birth or exploring other birthing options outside of the hospital. So that's what we wanted to talk about today to bring awareness to other options available that might be safer options for persons of color giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're just going to jump into a few questions.
Okay.
What is the best thing about being a mama?
Best thing about being a mother is watching like everybody, is so excited about the childhood phase. My children are all grown. So my favorite thing about being a mother is watching how they were raised manifest into their current state of being, their current state of mind and stuff like that. And being that they don't ask mommy for everything anymore, but they always consult me. They always involve me in their decision making. So that says to me that there is some wisdom in this
Mhm.
head that they respect.
Wonderful. It's always a nice pairing when your child has individual aspects but also
Hmm.
seeks guidance as well. So that is a blessing.
Yes.
So you touched on the best thing about being a mother. What is the most challenging part about being a mother?
The most challenging part of being a mother is probably twofold for me. Most challenging part is working 24 hours with the fire department. I love my job, I love my career, but it was a lot on my family. It was a lot of adjusting, and always checking with my children, like, y'all feel y'all missed something? They're like,
Mm-hmm.
no, mommy, we missed nothing. But, there's always that second guessing for me, which is
Mm-hmm.
my own insecurity about my motherhood. It's like, did I do enough? Was I around enough? Like, I was around in the city and for the communities and stuff. Was I around for my own home? So I always battle with that. And then, of course, my children being worried about me in this profession because, you can't lose your life doing this job. So that makes them nervous as well. And when they were younger, used to cry and have nightmares and stuff like that. So that was very difficult.
Yeah, well, first, thank you for your
Thank
service.
you.
And I feel like oftentimes we as women have to choose
Hmm.
between being a mother and making sure that we show up for our families, but also, continuing the journey to find our own desires, whether
Hmm.
that be professionally or personally. And so that leads me into my next question, which is what policies do you feel like you supported? What policies do you think supported you here at the organization of the City of Atlanta when you decided or if you decided to take maternity leave? Because how long have you been with the city?
I've been with the city 22 years and I've been in fire for 14.
Okay.
When I first came on in fire, I had just given birth to a baby. Like I went through all my interviews, pregnant with my last child, and it was it was a new thing. I could tell because I was always when I was a recruit, I was made to go, somewhere off in the side, dirty, so I could pump my milk and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I really don't think that there were any policies in place that supported me. I think there were um, people who worked for the city, people who worked for the fire department. They made a conscious decision to make sure that I had the amenities that I need. People like retired Chief Valerie Jackson. She made sure that she was a lieutenant at the recruitment center when I was a recruit. She made sure that I had somewhere clean to pump my breast milk. People like Assistant Chief um, Barham. Chief Barham made sure that I had somewhere, private and quiet where I could do what I needed to do for my baby. People like that who there wasn't anything in place, but people made a conscious decision to assist me. Um, People like Chief James McLemore, who is high up in the chief's office now. He was a battalion chief when I was a sergeant, and I was going through a divorce at the time, and it was difficult getting to work at 0700 hours, 7 a.m. To get to work on time because I have a son that's autistic, and the bus used to be late, which would put me late for work. And there were plenty of times he could write me up, never wrote me up. So people who just saw that I wanted to do the job, I wanted to do a good job, but I also had responsibilities and things that were kind of in my way, for me on the job. And they made a way for me, when they could have given me a hard time. Because technically, you ain't supposed to be late. You're not supposed to be late for work. But Chief McLemore worked with me and made sure that I had what I need. He would always check on me, So people like that who went out of their way to make sure that I was okay. Now, there were times I was told that I didn't belong because I need to be at home, having all these babies and whatnot, still breastfeeding, you need to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be no firefighter. But I was able to push through that. And now there have been women that came behind me, who are going ahead and having babies on the job. That wasn't like really a thing when I came on. So I'm glad to see that people are talking about having some different policies to support mothers because we need that. I wish I had that. I wish I had like in city hall daycare or something, and that's just things that we don't have. So I'm glad the conversation is being had. And I'm looking forward to the change. I know Mayor Dickens is really into, making sure that people have what they need. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to see the change.
Black birthing people are capable of so much. So thank you for sharing that. What I heard was that it took a village, and
Yes.
it really truly does take a village, especially when you have young babies, and you're trying to pursue a career.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful that you had that support with your leadership and immediate supervisors to make sure that you were showing up as your whole self and you felt supported.
Yes.
And so we understand that you do some community birth work.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share how cities and communities should support Black birthing people?
Well, yes, you mentioned my birthing center. It's called Real Hold Incorporated. I turned my garage house into a birthing center. And what that is for is so people can go somewhere comfortably if they don't feel like they have enough space in their home. They don't want to do it at home because they don't want to do the cleanup, all of that. They have somewhere that they can go, give birth, and have some postpartum care because in the medical world, you have the baby, few days and get on with your baby and get your stuff and y'all going home now. We got somebody else
Uh-huh.
coming for this bed.
Numbers gotta move,
Yes,
right?
so with my facility, I control that. You can stay up to 6 weeks and have somebody take care of you because that postpartum piece is so crucial. A lot of people, neglect that piece. They think once you had the baby, the pregnancy part is over. Now people are starting to be aware that there's a thing called postpartum. I know myself was postpartum depressed for at least 4 years. I didn't have the support that I needed, or I didn't have the language rather to communicate. Okay, I'm having this thing, this issue. I'm feeling this way. I don't know what it means. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where it's coming from, but I feel like crap all the time. Always sad, always crying. Something's wrong with me, but I don't have the language to communicate. So if I don't have the language, that means I don't know how to ask for help, right? So fortunately, there's a lot of information out there about postpartum depression. And we're seeing people, unfortunately take their lives and do stuff to themselves and to their children because they don't have the support that they need. And I'm not just talking about support like you need somebody to buy the groceries and stuff like that. I'm talking about somebody taking the child for a second so you can adequately use the bathroom in peace. So that kind of stuff, maintaining your self awareness, your self fulfillment, because that's needed for motherhood as well. So I'm glad to see the conversation is being had, but I saw a pocket for real whole. Not that, because I have a great career here, right? So it's not about the money aspect. It's about women and birthing folks getting the assistance that they need, getting the help that they need. Because I also am a midwife. So I've been in these medical facilities delivering babies, and I've heard these mothers not be heard. Hey, I feel like I gotta push. You're all right. And then I'll look at them, you got pushed, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, let's go. There's a video on my website where I actually didn't even have enough time to put on gloves. I caught a baby with my bare hands in the toilet. So, these places aren't listening to us. We still have Black women dying in something that they've been doing for millions of years. How could there be, times where we were in captivity and we gave birth and we were fine?
Just
And
fine.
now you have
Mm-hmm.
all this medical advanced technology, all this medication, all of these educated folks, and Black women are dying. Something's missing. Somebody's not listening. There, somewhere the ball is being dropped, and I saw where instead of talking about it and do something about it. So while I can't deliver everyone, I can deliver someone and make something more, more easier, for them to be heard. Because there's also the advocacy part. Hey, she said she need to push. You need to go check. So things like that.
Well, thank you so much. Would you care to share anything else that we didn't touch on today?
Uh, Not really. You touched on everything, but Black women need to know that they have rights, even though they're in the medical facilities and sign the paperwork saying that they get to do what they want to do. They don't get to do everything that they want to do. Now that is their hospital, it's their facility. There are some rules. However, you also have some autonomy. You need to read through this paperwork before you sign it. Don't just be signing stuff. Read it, exercise your autonomy, and do the things you need to, not just birthing, but like just overall health. If you have a consistent headache and you keep telling your medical provider, I have this headache, I have this headache, I need this checked, be specific about what you need checked, because a lot of times we're not just dying from childbirth, we're dying from other stuff too, because people aren't listening. So, advocate for yourself. Know the questions that you need to ask. Pay attention to that ache in your knee. It may be something else. Could be cancer. It might not just be because arthritis. Could be something else. If you stop your menstrual cycle, it might not be menopause. It could be uterine cancer. It could be, a number of things. So just make sure you pay attention to your body and advocate for yourself, and make sure you also have in place someone who can advocate for you on your behalf should you not be able to advocate for yourself. Build your network in your village, because village, that is our culture. That is African culture, to build a village. So your friends, they're not just your friends, that's your village, who will speak for you when you can't speak.
Well, my background is in public health, but what I hear you saying is that health education is an important piece of Black maternal health. So, would you care to
Mm-hmm.
share any resources of where people can kind of do their research as they're thinking about starting a family and family planning?
There are a lot of public health websites. The United States Public Health website. I don't know it off the top of my head, but if you Google it, there's a lot of resources that you need where you can navigate these systems. And just ask somebody who knows. I'm easily accessible. You can stop me on the street and ask me a question. I'll answer it. If I had the answer, and if I ain't got the answer, girl, we're gonna look it up and
You'll
we're gonna
know who to
find
send
it.
this
Because
to,
that's what you need. People who know how to get. If
right.
I don't have it in here, I know how to get it. So just know your people. Ask questions. Don't be afraid. I'm like I said, I'm easily accessible, easy to find. And if you see somebody who you think may know the answer, ask the question. Ask questions. That's the biggest thing that you can do. But Google is your friend. You find lots of them.
Well, thank you, Captain Tajik. I just feel like I made a new friend. We talked about I've been following you for years on social
Right on.
media, so it has been a pleasure to sit down with you and have this face-to-face discussion.
Thank you.
And Black Maternal Health Week is observed nationally April 11th, excuse me, through April 17th.
Yes.
And so there are a plethora of activations coming up throughout the city. Visit blackmamasmatter.com to find out more information. Thank you.